Hello everyone, my name is Jose Gomez. I'm a criminal justice major with a minor in Latino studies.
My name is Lydia Bermudez, and I'm a double major in sociology and Latino studies.
My name is Ivan Salazar. I'm a dual major in criminal justice and Latina studies.
So for this interview, we decided to interview three different individuals, Diane, Madeline, and Elias. What they all have in common is that they are all from Southern California and they are attending San Francisco State. So in this interview, you will see how we analyze what they went through to get here and where they are at now.
In the interviews, we asked these individuals the experience of transitioning from San Francisco to LA to San Francisco, what difficulties they face as freshmen from Los Angeles living here in San Francisco. We also asked them about how they started to get involved in school and how they started to get involved with the organizations they're in. We also asked them for any advice that they have to any incoming freshmen coming from either a different city from California or a different state.
So our primary focus with this interview was to really get a better understanding of what many of these incoming freshmen or even transfers, what they go through, and the struggles that they face when they try to get accustomed to a new environment, a new city, and just a new feel. And so we definitely got to understand what they've gone through, and a lot of suffering, being away from home, family, and that's a very big step to take, being 18, even 17 years old, and coming being away. And so we hope that you get a better insight, and just it's more really to see or even to hear what a person from Los Angeles doesn't really get to tell you every day, so or from Southern California. So we hope that you enjoy our interview, and we hope that you get a better insight as as the struggles that they go through in order to to be who they are now.
I'm Diana Verde, and I'm from Los Angeles, California.
My name is Madeline Hernandez. I'm in international relations with a minor in Latin American studies, and I'm from South Central LA.
My name is Elias Serrano. I'm from West Whittier, California, and my major is mechanical engineering.
I came to just be in a new environment. I kind of got tired of Los Angeles, even though it is my home. I did kind of get tired of the environment, and I wanted to come to a new place. And I've never been to San Francisco, and I applied to San Francisco State, and I got accepted to a lot of Cal States and UCs. So I chose SF because I love SF and just to start new, I guess.
I think I decided to come to San Francisco State University just because it was far from home, in a way. I've always wanted to get out from LA just because I wanted to see things. I wanted to see how it was to live somewhere else. And I just always craved, I guess, living somewhere else. And so I thought college was the opportunity for me to get to go to another place and learn how to live on my own and just see what's out beyond what I had lived my whole life. So
Ever since I was like 4, me and my family would come up here at least once a year. At first, it was just to come to Raider games because we were Raiders fans, and we would try to catch one game a season. And then it became us just coming up here because we really like San Francisco. So if my parents had like a weekend off in advance, they would plan just a road trip up here. So I really got to know the city. I got to know just the Bay Area, and I really liked it. So I thought this would be a cool place to go to school.
My mom was very encouraging, as well as my sister, but my dad was very against it. It was money-wise, and it was a lot of money being spent, and just he wasn't with it. So it was kind of that whole conflict between my dad and myself moving up here. But at the end of the day, financial aid and everything, so it worked out. Just overcoming the fact that you're alone and you don't have anybody. Because I have no family up here, no friends, nothing. So just kind of getting used to the environment was very difficult for me, especially starting in a new school, in a new, city. It was kind of like, what the hell do I do? What am I doing here? And it was frightening. So I had to overcome that.
I think it was kind of tough getting adjusted to such a more compact city. Um, Back home, everything was like I'd drive somewhere or take the bus, but I would hardly take the bus because West Whittier is 2 cities over from downtown LA. So if I was gonna do anything, I was gonna drive there, and I think just getting used to walking a lot more, finding my own way around, like where I need to buy my own stuff, like even the most trivial things like toothbrushes and stuff like that. I had to learn how to do that on my own. Learn different neighborhoods, because I really like to go out into the city, so I had to learn where would be, like, I guess what some would say like a safer neighborhood. But as far as transitioning to living by myself, ever since I was a kid, I've been doing things by myself. My parents were always at work. My brother was at school or, doing something else. And so it was more, I have to provide for myself rather than just take care of myself now.
Yeah, difficulties. Even deciding to come to San Francisco State, it was really hard because my parents weren't fully excited about the idea of me leaving home just because I was the first one to leave. My sister had gone to Burbank for college, so I was like the first one to leave, and it took me some convincing. At one point, I got so frustrated that I told them, I was like, fine, I'm just gonna go to Dominguez Hills, just to please them, I guess. But then my sister convinced me to go to San Francisco State because she was like, in the end, it's your decision, it's your life. So luckily they came around, which made the whole transitioning from LA to San Francisco a whole lot easier. I was really excited. I was like ready to leave LA, and but like my first year was probably one of my hardest years, I would say. I'm pretty sure that like I was homesick, and I didn't realize it until like my second year, because it was hard just like experiencing classes and then like looking around and like realizing that I'm probably one of like 3 Latinos in the whole entire class, and I was so used to being in schools with like Latino and like African American people, and it was just weird. But I kind of struggled my first year with classes, but I didn't do so bad. I would say it was just the hardest thing was the Hispanic food. It was so hard until I found Mission, which was probably my place where I would go when I would feel homesick. So I guess it was just like a little bit of everything in terms of difficulties, like the transitioning, not being close to my family, which is something that I've always been. But at the same time, I like learned a lot about myself, and it only made me want to keep seeing more things. So it was difficult, but I think I've managed, so that's a good thing.
I would have to say until second semester, but it was only because of the organization, Hermanos Unidos, that helped me cope with coping with me being alone, and they were kind of just the support system, and they were family for me here.
I finally felt comfortable here, or I guess I could say I found a home in San Francisco when it was my second semester of my freshman year, when I decided to try to get more involved on campus, because living in the dorms, the types of dorms that I was living in, it was more like secluded, so it was really easy for me to just go to classes, go back, and just not really talk to anybody. So I decided to want to go meet more people, and I saw Hermanos Unidos tabling in the quad, and it was a couple dudes with Dodger hats and all that, and that was a really welcome sight for me. So I went to go find out what was up, and I made a lot of friends, not just from LA, which was a huge comfort, but friends from around here too, that we all had just common interests, and it just clicked. And since then, I feel very comfortable here.
Yeah, I'm in Hermanos Unidos, the Women's Center here I'm in ASI, Raza, and I'm also in Speak.
I feel like my degree of involvement in Hermanos Unidos has gone up pretty significantly in just this semester alone. It's only my third semester, and as well as within the La Raza student organization, and I am an intern at Project Rebound as well. I feel like that involvement, in order of most involved to least involved, I'd say it's Hermanos Unidos, La Raza, and then Project Rebound.
Yeah, so I believe it was like towards the end of my freshman year, beginning of second, through another friend, she introduced me to La Raza student organization on campus, and I think being involved with La Raza really helped me with the transition and the difficulties of, being away from home. And it was like a place where, it was like a home away from home. And it was, just helped me as a person a lot to grow. And then through La Raza, I also found out about Hermanas Unidas, and I started going there pretty recent when it started off. So it was nice because, it's like a whole bunch of women who are Latinas, getting together and just talking about the struggles that we face. And a lot of us are from LA, so it just kind of made everything better. And luckily, too, I had my two best friends that I knew from high school, so that was that I think without them, I don't know, my experience would have been a whole lot more difficult. But since I had a piece of home with me, so I knew that even if it was hard, like I still had them. So that was I guess those organizations have had an impact in my life, just because they help me identify who I am and my culture and embracing it. And, I've come to love SF, and yeah.
Organization. That is one thing I learned. I was very unorganized before. I would procrastinate a lot, and, doing all these organizations on top of that, being away from home, and on top of that, having classes, it's like you have to juggle and you have to make room for, your free time, for homework, for the organization. So it's just, I never bought a planner before, and this was the first time I ever bought one this semester. So it's kind of nice to have everything organized and just, okay, I'm not going to procrastinate. So I learned to be more organized.
Starting and holding a conversation with somebody is something that I've gotten a lot better at. I feel like I was more introverted when I was a kid. I would go to school, go to baseball practice, then go home, and just hardly ever talk to other people. I had like my circle of friends of like 4 or 5 when I was in high school and even before then, and I just wouldn't really try to talk to new people or someone I've never met. And being more involved, and I guess just adapting more to the college experience, I feel like I've been able to make connections. I've gotten better at making connections with people conversationally, and just telling people like a genuine, like, how was your day, or something like that.
Yes, I do, but I'm going to apply for masters, and I'm hoping to apply to Berkeley, more North more NorCal schools as well. So, yes and no.
My immediate plans after getting my undergrad, being an engineering student, I want to go anywhere that would be offering a grad program that I'll be looking for 2 years from now, at least. And honestly, the dream school for me is Caltech, and that's in Pasadena. So if things work out, I'd coincidentally be back home and go into grad school, but I'm willing to go anywhere else just to further my education. My end goal is, honestly, I don't really see myself settling back down in LA. I don't know where I will settle down in, but I just don't know where I'll end up. And I like that idea.
Yeah. It was a hard decision for me to decide that, yes, I'm going to go back home. It's some mixed feelings because I've come to love SF, and it's so different from LA. But like the way I like to think of it is like LA is always going to be my home no matter what. No matter where I go, LA is always going to be there for me. But San Francisco became kind of like my second home, and I'm definitely going to miss it, and I'm definitely going to come back. So it's not like a goodbye. It's just like a see you later type of thing. Or until next time. The reason why I had decided to go back home is just because I still don't know exactly what I want to do. And unfortunately, expenses are too much for me. So I kind of have no choice but to go back in a sense. Yeah, the way I'm thinking about it, I just gotta be thankful for all the experiences that I had, the 5 years that I had here at San Francisco State, and just look forward to going back home because I do miss home. And I am excited, but it's like a bittersweet feeling.
Join organizations as soon as you come to a new city or a new place away from home, because you just make friends, network. It's really, really useful. And just stay organized too, because you don't want to fall behind. You don't want to be that person. So that's one advice I would give.
Enjoy the last meal of tacos, man, because they're expensive out here. No, I'm just kidding. I think my advice for them would be just to take everything in, like all those feelings that you have, especially as first-time freshmen. It's like exciting because it's like, shit, I'm going to college, and just being okay with knowing that everything's not always going to be perfect, that you're going to have your downtimes, and sometimes your GPA is going to go down, and it's not the end of it as long as you keep on going. And also, I think for me, I wish I would have gotten more involved earlier, just because you find your community by being involved. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on campus. There's so many things off campus. For example, like the Women's Center, that I wish I probably would have gotten more involved, you know. I think that's what I love about San Francisco, that there's so many communities that you can become involved with. And it also helps with, dealing with your own struggles and being away from home, because the more you're part of something, the less, I guess, lonely you feel. But it's also fun, like going out and experiencing places on your own. I think that's one thing too that I've learned, how to go out and experience things on my own, like going to places by yourself. It really does make a difference. And yeah, just like give yourself credit for how far you've come, but also keep wanting more.
Call your parents more often, because I didn't really do that last year, and I found myself really homesick. And now, if I'm at all homesick or just thinking about what's happening right now back home, I'll just give one of my parents a call, or my brother. We never really had a I guess, spoken. Like our relationships among people, the members of my family, we don't really speak a lot. We just sort of have an unspoken bond, and transitioning from seeing them every day to not seeing them at all, I didn't consider, or it just at first didn't feel like calling them would be the answer. It was just a situation where I didn't know what to do, and now I know that. Well, I mean, just call them. It's not that hard.
So what I got from this interview was that we don't really pay attention to our classmates around us and what they have been through to get where they are at. We all feel like we're on the same boat. We all have to do midterms, we have to do finals, we get stressed, we're happy, but we don't think about what they are feeling inside, especially when they are away from home. For example, I'm from San Jose. I commute here, but it's not so far. When I feel stressed or when anything's going on, I could easily turn to my family. But for them, it's different because if they are going through anything, the only thing they could do is pretty much give them a phone call. So I had definitely learned to appreciate what all these individuals are going through to gain the education that they really want.
I really appreciated interviewing these three individuals. I learned a lot from them. I also related to them a lot. And the way that I related to them was when they started to talk about getting involved with the organization, is because that's how I started to like the school. As a freshman, I really didn't enjoy the school. I was homesick. It wasn't until I got involved with the organization I'm from, the Hermanos Unidos, and La Raza, the organization, that I started to feel like I belonged to this campus, and I started to see more Latinos, and I got to see the Latino community within San Francisco State, and that's how I started to fall in love with San Francisco State, and that's one of the advice I really enjoyed hearing from these individuals, that it is good to get involved because you start to meet new people, start liking your surroundings, and that's what I really enjoy about these three individuals.
So throughout the interview, there's various things that at least stuck out to me, just because I was able to relate to them personally, and coming in here right out of high school, I was very scared. I was like, I didn't know what I had coming. Just because you hear a lot of things about college, but being able to find organizations and being able to find a support system like Hermanos Unidos, it just really helped me, just to get around and learn about the resources that this campus has to offer. And so one of the things that really just stuck out to me was when Elias mentioned his advice was to call your parents more often. And at least that really stuck out to me because we really take our family for granted, and we feel that they're always going to be there, but you never know, there's going to be that one moment where they're not. And so his advice really stuck out to me, just because I need to learn how to appreciate my mom more, and my dad, my brother, my whole family. And so definitely, like, this interview was very touching home, and we hope that you enjoyed the interview, got to know these three individuals in a more personal level. So we hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.